Hello and welcome to this edition of Time with Hime. I am once again joined by our superintendent, Mr. Hime. How are you doing today?
Doing great today. Yourself?
Woohoo, good. We were just talking before the podcast that we are on our 13th episode, I believe.
Wow, it's getting where we just do it all the time, huh?
It's fun. It's been a blast, and we're thankful that you guys continue to tune in and hear what's going on with LPS, and we're ready for an update. What do you say?
Well, the technology gets good. We talked about this, and I think Bello's going to show some screenshots of it, but hey, we're 10, 12 feet apart. But Bello's able to bring us in where we're close, and it's on one screen. We got some comments last week that we quit wearing masks. No, we've social distanced, and we're over 10 feet apart social distance. So thanks to Bello and technology, we're able to do this social distancing and not wear a mask.
And we still look like we're close together.
There you go.
I'm excited. We are really ready to talk about what's going on with the district. Can you believe we're 14 days away from October?
Crazy. October's almost here. Things are moving. Right now what we're probably seeing in the district is we are starting to have quite a few students come back from virtual, go to traditional, which is very exciting. Hopefully that trend continues. We've always said we think the face-to-face learning is best for most students, but we like for our parents to have that choice, and we're still continuing with the flexibility. There's been some discussion about how flexible and how long do we stay flexible, and right now we're going to stay pretty firm that we want to continue to keep our parents' options open. So, as they trickle back in, we'll make movements as we can, and we're not moving teachers yet or changing teachers the best we can. Obviously, we've had some teachers resign or teachers take other positions. Teachers move for family reasons or such. So those are normal things that happen anyway in the school year. So we've had students have to change teachers, but we feel really good right now. Our high school moved to Central, kind of rebooted, reestablished. That's going well. We've got our PM kind of rebooted with the high school and middle school. Our elementary at Washington, we feel has been strong all along. The elementary at Adams has been strong. The middle school, after they moved from Brockland to Tomlinson, the teachers did, very strong. So we feel like we're really getting better every day. And that's our challenge to our teachers and our commitment to you as parents, if you're virtual, is we are going to get better every day. And I think our teachers are doing a wonderful job of improving and looking for ways to make virtual as close as possible to a traditional school setting.
Well, and that connection that our parents have with our teachers that are virtual help us as well, because that's how we grow and get better.
Yes. And we don't know that it'll ever change. Obviously, we've talked about we won't have snow days anymore. Flu season's right around the corner. We've already heard of cases, so students are going to miss for the flu. Students may be out of town on different reasons. Athletes missing days for activities. So virtual, this virtual blended or the combination of what we're doing, we think that's here to stay. And we're excited about that, and we want to continue to get better at it so that, when students are never absent, they just don't miss school, that educational process continues on a daily basis.
And I'm glad you mentioned that it's not going to change as far as virtual, because we do have families that really enjoy that time that they have with their students at home, and they still are a part of Lawton Public Schools.
Yes, and that's, we're seeing that, and we knew it was a need. It was something we were kind of easing our way into. As some know, last year we had about 100 students do some virtual 9 through 12. We had discussed expanding that. We'd already made some decisions. We were going to make that a little bigger this year, pre-COVID. COVID hit, and we jumped to 5,000 all of a sudden. So we think that when, our first thoughts are, when we get back and everything gets back to the norm, that we're still probably going to have 1,500 to 2,000 students that are interested in the virtual. So we want to continue to have that option available for our parents. So that's one thing, and I really appreciate it. I get emails, calls come in. Denise gets the calls for me, but if parents calling in and bringing things to my attention that they see that we could get better at, and so we really work hard to get better. And we've had a lot of people bring information to us without complaining, and those are great. It's always, complaining is complaining, but when somebody just shares information with you and say, hey, you might get better here, you might get better there, we're like on the info at lawtonps.org when they send those emails in, just asking questions and looking for ways to help us improve, again, because if all of our parents, all of our teachers, and as a staff, if we all work together, we know we're going to be stronger for it, and we're going to get better, and that's going to allow us to provide a better education for our students.
And providing an education for our students also includes meals. And
yes.
We talked about something earlier today with our district leadership team that is phenomenal. So share that information.
Well, for one thing, with this many students going virtual, we have extra bus drivers. We have some bus drivers that aren't running routes, so they're going to start running meal routes. So, we still get to continue the summer feed for right now, so we can do the 10 meals at a time like we did in the summer. So if you're virtual and you want the 10 meals, all you got to do is call in or get your name on the list and make sure we'll deliver them, or try to at least get them to a pickup spot where it's centrally located, because we're able to get food to our students, and that's something we believe in. It's one reason we went to breakfast breaks. But now with everyone eating free again, the same as summer, make sure you're calling in or emailing if you're not getting food, and we'll do everything we can if we can't get it to your house to get it close enough where it's an easy trip for you to go pick it up.
And we'll be sure to put the link of our number so that they can call the schools in our description for the YouTube link. The other thing is the transportation. We didn't get to talk about that last week, but we found out today that they're going to have bus routes.
Yes.
We're going to have 5 of them go out just throughout the community.
Yeah, delivering meals.
Correct.
Yes. And that's the other thing. You got our transportation department's working really strong. They're going to deliver meals. They're working with helping kids get to schools and some of those things. So, the pandemic causes us to be flexible, but we're flexible in our cafeterias. We're flexible in our transportation. We're flexible across the district. And I'm really excited about bus drivers, delivering food. So if you see a bus in your neighborhood, that's probably what it's for. You might go see if they have food because they're bringing extra. So get you some meals.
That's right. And we're going to put the link with the new routes, and we'll share that on our social media for our families and on our website. So you have the virtual meal pickup, and you'll also have the bus routes, and then our students at school.
Yes.
It's all coming together.
And don't forget, everyone gets to eat free. Breakfast is in between. So make sure your child's eating. We got to adjust. I got an email that somebody was still getting charged for milk if they brought their lunch, but then you could get a tray for free. Well, that doesn't make sense that we're charging for milk if they could have just walked through the line and got a tray, dumped it out, and just took the milk. We'd rather them just get the milk. So we don't want to waste food. So, we're adjusting to some of those things, and we're going to try to make them work. But, things are good right now in some of those areas. We feel like we're really making some progress.
What do you want to celebrate today?
Well, first of all, we know Teacher of the Year. That was, done last year. Because of COVID, it never got to be announced. This is, last spring, the norm in Lawton is you do it in the spring, and I think they have a ceremony. I'm new. This is new to me. But since we didn't get to do it, Miss Hatch, who's kind of in charge of that, got with you, and you guys worked together, and we're going to do it Friday night at the football game. We're going to do it like at 6:40 before the game. We'll have our Teacher of the Year candidates. We'll have some Friends of Education and some different awards and some things that we haven't been able to take care of in a public manner that we would have already taken care of. So we're going to take 10 or 15 minutes there and celebrate some of the people who've done outstanding things in our district, for our district, and such. And I'm kind of excited about that.
And for our families that can't make it to the game or just have other plans, OSN is going to also stream that, and you can find that on their website the night of the game.
Yes, and you can also go to the lawtonps.org website, go to athletics, and it'll be on there as well. And I would suggest yes, because obviously, hey, you watch NFL this weekend, a lot of empty stadiums. You watch college football, very few and some empty stadiums with some with limited seating. We've been selling 500 tickets per team. We are sold out for Friday night. We wish we could have more people in, but again, that's a commend to the community. I was mentioning that today. Even though we're selling tickets and we're not selling tickets at the gate, changes that can cause issues, we're just not getting a lot of backlash for. People in this community are really working together to make this as palatable for the whole group as we can, and so we really appreciate that.
We want to give a big thanks to Emmy Labs. They came out last week, and I believe it's been a week already. And you want to share some information about how that went for him?
The ones who gave us the 300 oh, no, you're talking about the testing.
The testing,
I'm sorry,
yes.
Southwestern Medical, is that right, Southwestern?
That's right. We have a lot of community partners, and we're so excited, and let's go ahead and jump to that. So Southwestern provided us with
300 masks, cloth masks to share. So we'll be sharing those with staff members and different people so they have extra masks. So that was very nice because, early on people were giving, but it's always great when people give to us. Now you were talking about, so it's great when there's so many things going on that we're getting them confused. Right. You were talking about the teacher testing or staff testing. It's part of Governor Stitt's plan that they were going to try, the state was going to pay for staff members to get tested once a month. Well, the first month we didn't have that many, but we had over 250. And my understanding is we had no positives in our 250. And so that's a great thing. It shows that, we've really been lucky as a school district in how clean our teachers, staff, and students have remained. We do have that on our, you go to our Lawton school, and it's under the...
For the COVID, to the community.
Yes,
go to the community link.
Go into the community link.
And it's LPS COVID summary. So if you want to check out where
check
we
out
are.
the summary, and because we never, I heard somebody say, well, they're keeping that a secret. They're not. We never kept it a secret. It's just how do you announce it, and we put it out there, but it really tells and it shows how so far our cases are really spread out. When you figure between 8,000 traditional students and another 1,000 or so employees, if when you 8,000 plus and 1,000 plus, you're getting close to 10,000. We're still staying at 1/800, 1 every 900 cases since school started back at the first, middle of August. So we feel pretty good with our numbers so far compared to what other people have. We work hard to keep them better. We're still saying wash your hands, social distance, and mask.
And stay home if you don't feel well, no matter what.
And we can reinforce that. Our attendance policy, people question it. We have, I understand teachers say, well, they don't get to come to school and they don't even get counted absent, because that was one way, we kept up with. Well, we count them absent, but you get a not present if you do your work. So the goal is if a parent keeps their student home and they'll do their work, they don't miss the work. They just get counted not present, but not absent. So they're not punished, or it's not a mark against them, because, we talk about it all the time. I mean, I was that parent, my son would wake up, or one of my daughters, and they didn't feel good. Oh, you're okay. Get on to school. It's just, we do that way. I told somebody, I bet I've taken 5 personal sick days, probably 5 sick days in 35 years that I've used that were because I was sick. Well, there's probably times I went to work not feeling well that I shouldn't have been at work, that I should have been at home, because I might have been contagious with whatever I had. And we probably didn't make good decisions, but today we've got to change that mindset as parents, as employees and staff members. If we feel like we're contagious, whether it's the flu, we have a really bad cold, or, now we have the COVID on us, we need to stay home. And get tested. Hear a lot of people, and that's a great get tested, but just when we're contagious, we need to stay home, stay quarantined, no matter what the disease is, and not spread it to other people. So that's our idea with not counting people absent.
And we hope that helps encourage our parents that they're still going to get the work. And that's why it was so important for us to get those devices out.
Yes. We're still working on that. We're getting really close to having a device in every hand. We have brand new Chromebooks that are here any day from what we're hearing. And when we get those, if you have an older Chromebook, you may get a new one then. The iPads are going out every day. If your student gets quarantined or you change, we get you one ASAP, but we move you to the top of the list. But otherwise, we're steadily getting them out. It's kind of funny, but when you're doing 13,500, that's a lot of devices to get out. So.
Well, we have been out in the buildings several times this week and last week. What's the most exciting thing you've seen?
It's really exciting to see our teachers just work so hard with their students, and we work really hard to balance the class sizes. And you always hear the comments, and yes, we, with students moving back and forth and some of the students coming back, we do have a couple class sizes out there that, we've had some discussions. I talked with our directors today about, do we put an assistant in there? We're going to start bringing back some of our retired teachers that used to come back as, we called them tutors or Title I tutors. We kind of get rid of some of that language because everyone works for Lawton, and we're bringing some of those people back to have those discussions and maybe give an assistant to teachers that have over 25 and some things like that. We're really working on that. So, but the overall amazement of how hard everybody's working and pulling together, I feel like 99% of our staff is on board and doing everything they can to make students successful. And to me, that's exciting because, I struggle at night. I stress out because they're tough decisions. But you know what? Everybody else does too. It's not like I'm in this by myself. Everybody who goes to work, they have fears, they have reasons. They worry about the students that aren't there. They worry about their students that are there. I mean, there's a lot of factors going on, but our teachers are really working hard. and then you go around, we started our makeover, and I say it every week, go look at Ridgecrest. We're getting a little bit started in Woodland Hills. Pioneer Park's there. Hey, we're drawing out another one, and we'll see who wins, and now principals are like it's almost like they got their list to show me they're ready to win. So that's exciting. Our bus barn's getting done. We got new softball fences. The tennis courts are getting resurfaced. We've got a lot of things going on. Eisenhower Middle School just opened. So we've got a lot of things going on, and we're going to continue to improve this district. My biggest goal is in the next couple of years, every site, every place in this district gets a makeover. I want to make sure that anytime you drive by one of our buildings, if it's Lawton Public Schools building, you're proud as a Lawtonian. You're proud. We wear these. I love Lawton's pins, but you love Lawton Public Schools. You see those buildings, and you're not embarrassed that that's your community school building. That you're proud of that building, and so that's kind of an ultimate goal we have, is that we get them all made over. And you guys as a community, I wasn't here, but the community ran some bond issues, and the people voted to get some of these things done. We just have to get them done. And there's been a lot of factors as to why some of them haven't been done, but we just got to break those barriers and get things done. And that's a compliment to the board, to the community, the boards for saying, hey, let's get it done. It's one of the things that we talked about when I got hired. Community for passing these bond issues, that new middle school that's awesome, and some of these other projects we're getting done, and just the district as a whole for working hard to get that done. So we just got to bring all that stuff in, with new athletic fences, new fences around all the schools, paint jobs, new signs in front of schools. We can look up in 2 years and be really proud of what we're looking at, and we're excited about it. Well,
and usually we're excited for summer because of the things that we can kind of calm down. But for us this year, we're excited about summer because of all the projects we can do when there's nobody in the building, and we can kind of take over. So you got to keep watching, you guys, because we're going to continue to share all the great things.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of things planned because, we start talking about parking lots and some of those things that need to be done in summer. There will be it's kind of funny. So far, it's been all elementary schools that win. There will be a secondary school that wins, and there will be some big projects. And again, we're starting with the facelift of the visual part when you're outside of a building, but at some point we'll go inside buildings and try to make some improvements there as well. And, it's amazing to me when I came to the districts, I guess one of the most astounding things, and I think it was a communication issue, was how much pride almost every building I went in. And I tried to get in every building this summer. I started before school was out, but obviously March hit, and then we quit going in buildings. But how much pride was inside the building, the custodians, the principals, the teachers. Their buildings were clean, and they took pride in the buildings. And outside the building, the fences were hanging, and we all know some of those things. So there was a little bit of communication of who should have the pride and how we get these things fixed. And so we're fixing that, and we're going to get that communication lined out. We're going to come up, work on the funds. And again, it's easy when the community has already voted to pass the bond issue, and we're going to make sure. If you voted yes on those bond issues, we're going to do everything we can in the next couple years to make sure we are giving you what you voted for. We're meeting those promises that were made, no matter who made those promises, if they're still here or not. We're going to try to fulfill those promises, and we're working hard to do that. And it's a challenge to a lot of us, and it's a challenge to Lynn because she was here, and she'll tell you, I've told her, I don't care what meeting you were in or where you were at, I want a list of those promises.
It's on my window.
So she's working hard to come up with them because they're not all in the bond language. They're not all here. Some of them were just things that were discussed, and people feel like they were promised, although they may not be in writing. It doesn't matter. If you felt, if people felt this is what they were voting on, we need to do our best to meet those obligations.
Absolutely. Mr. Hime, is there anything before we end our podcast that you want to share with our families?
Hey, I want to just say one more time, thank you for your support of our schools and the community. I mean, there's just a lot of things going on, and this is just different times, crazy times. It's been difficult for a lot of people, but this community has made it. I've seen communities, you see them on TV, you see it on Facebook, that are struggling with the strife between their schools and their communities and different people. But for just overwhelmingly the support this community has given to Lawton Public Schools and the decisions we've made and working with us as we try to wade through this with no better term has been awesome. And I want to say thank you to you guys for working with us. And I continue to make that commitment that we know we're not perfect. We know there's some things we got to do better, but I make the commitment all the time. We're going to do everything we can to get better every day. And so if you see things that you think we need to get better at, let us know, and we'll continue to try to improve upon them, because in the end, when this is all said and done, we want to provide the best education for every student we possibly can.
And if you have any questions, concerns, or want to share celebrations that you've seen in our district, please reach out to us on our social media or info@lawtonps.org. As always, it's a pleasure, Mr. Hime, to have you in the studio.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And until next time, we hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week.
Next week.